Welcome to Liberty Streams TV. Please kindly subscribe. Thank you.
This is why sometimes you hear us talking. We are countering thoughts. When you see great people, you think, these ones, they are living with angels. We fight the battles you fight. I told you my story. I was driving on the bridge, just about to enter Makodi. A voice told me, get down and jump in. I said, jump where? Men, in many cases, are the major limitations to themselves. You'll be shocked that most of the people failed because they made the choice to. And I will show you some of the things we do that make us become our own body. And there are a number of them, but I don't really have the time. Number one, negative perception. There are men that are very creative in the corridor of pessimism. Any idea you bring, the moment you mention it, they'll give you 1,000,000 reasons why it can't work. They are programmed to only think failure and negative thoughts. You will think, if they meet God, it will change. Even when God speaks, they will give God the reason why it won't work. You think it's a joke? Why did God destroy the Israelites in the wilderness? The people God called men of evil heart. Imagine God told them, this land I will give you. Guess what they said? Numbers 13:31. We are not able to go against the people. They are stronger than us. God, you inclusive. Why do I know that? God was working with them visibly. The Bible said the pillar of fire went before them in the night, and the pillar of cloud went before them in the day. So they saw God working with them visibly. Yet they said, these people are stronger than us. Your presence makes no difference. That's the problem with many. So when you see one man rise, he has overcome this limitation. David said, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. So why there's one man who says, even in the valley of the shadow of death, I will prosper. He said, you prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemy. A man knows that the presence of the enemies, the presence of death means nothing because God is there. But there's another man who sees ordinary men and say, your presence has no effect against these people. And you think it's those people in the wilderness. Some of them are among us here. They see a dream, they hear the voice of God. You preach what God is telling them. They feel goosebumps in their body. The moment they rise up, they say, this country, nothing they work. For Nigeria here, negative perception. So they are a limitation to themselves. And the hardest ones to deal with are the self-imposed ones. Because your will is what sanctions it. So even God becomes helpless. The only place where God is helpless is when he deals with men. Psalm 78 verse 41. The Bible said they turned back and tempted the Holy One of Israel and limited him. Because he allows the man the right of free will. So if the man uses it against God, he limits God. They tempted God and they limited. So men can make God powerless in their own lives. And one of the ways is through negative thoughts. You think anybody making impact today saw the end from the beginning? No. It's one step at a time. One step at a time. That's how we get to the destination. But what we will not allow are evil thoughts clogging our minds and hindering us from moving. That's why many times we go to God's presence to declutter the mind. Because things are choking our thoughts. This is why sometimes you hear us talking. We are countering thoughts. When you see great people, you think, these ones, they are living with angels. We fight the battles you fight. I told you my story. I was driving on the bridge, just about to enter Makodi. A voice told me, get down and jump in. I said, jump where? Jump where? Are you okay? Get behind me, Satan. You keep quiet. The day you quarrel with your wife, or the day business is not working, that voice that was a seed would have become a tree. You will see a man park his car, jump into the river. You say, but how? Imagine the car he parked. If that car alone is what he has, is a blessing. You don't know what was going on in the head. Demons were whispering, jump in. And the day when he was low, that day he saw reason with the demon. So we don't keep quiet. He said, casting down imagination and every high standing thing that opposes itself above the knowledge of God, bringing into captivity all things to the obedience of Christ. Number 2 is immaturity. Some men are so immature. They've not even heard God. They've told everybody. They are talkers, doing nothing but talking. When God speaks to you, you take it back to his presence. Sit on the altar and have a confirmation and strategy for implementation. Allow your result to talk to people. Just talking everywhere, messing up their lives. Immaturity. Then the barrier of sin and rebellion. Hebrews 12 verse 1 to 2. Because of your manifestation, you were the glory the Bible spoke of that made Jesus endure shame. But he said they cannot lay aside weights and sin that beset them. Those who run, who cover mileage, they lay aside sin and weights. Forgive for where? He has kept malice with one person for 7 years. Keep yourself for God. He said, it's not easy. It's not easy. A generation that beat the body must rise. Job said, I have a covenant. I had a covenant with my eyes, not to look upon the virgin. Peter said in 1 Peter 4:1, he said, they that have suffered in the flesh have ceased from sinning. They've put their bodies to trainings, spiritual trainings, because of where they are going. They won't allow their appetites master them. Why do you think children never make progress? Everything gets their attention. They've not mastered their own appetites. A race was organized for a tortoise and a rat. The rat can run 10 times faster than the tortoise. But guess who won? Your guess is right. The tortoise had one focus. Go forward. It was moving slow but steady. The rat will sprint here, sprint there, sprint there. That rat is running till today. Tortoise has finished racing. The rat is still running. I told you, if you are in the wrong direction, speed is not an advantage. But if you are giving to your emotions, you will waste your destiny. And that has become one powerful weapon in the hand of the devil. Most of us are like the madman of Gadara. The weapon of our destruction, the devil put it in our hand. We are the ones enjoying ourselves. It's a time we fail me to speak of Gideon, to speak of Barak, to speak of Jephthah, of Samuel, of David and the prophets, who through faith subdued kingdoms. The Bible said they wrought righteousness. They obtained promises. It said they quenched the violence of fire. They shut the mouth of lions. It said weak men were made valiant in battle, and they put to flight the armies of the alien. It said women received their dead back to life. When the chronicles of your generation is read, where will your name be captured? Will it be said that like Esau, you gave away your birthright for a pot of pottage? A generation is failing because men can't tame appetites. Job said, I have a covenant with my eyes. I will not look upon the virgins. Paul said, I beat my body. I bring it under subjection. Peter said, if you have wrestled in the flesh, he said, you have lived above sin. It's possible. I told you, it's possible. The Bible said, holy men of God were carried. Men are still being carried today to realms in Zion. Stories that you thought were fictions are the life that many are living, because they have given themselves to the ordinances of the Spirit. Why will you be lost in the crowd, whereas you carry a heavy ordination? How can a Deborah be hallowed? How can a Joshua be confused in the cloud? How can a Moses that should lead a generation rot in jail because he went the way of Yahoo? We need a rebirth. We need a renaissance, a revival. New men with new appetites. Men like David that will say, I was glad when they said unto me, let us go to the house of the Lord. He says, as the deer panted after the waters, so my soul longeth after thee, in a dry and in a thirsty land where no water is. New appetites. Kiss me with the kisses of thy mouth. He said, thy love is better than wine. He said, my master has invited me to his bedchamber. We will not remember the testimony of the wine. He said, because of the savour of thy good name, thy name is as precious as ointment. He said, so do the virgins love you. A people that love the Lord, a people that live by the ways and the ordinances of the Spirit. He said, even when I was in my meditation, your word was my meditation. Your word. When you stay with him, he will show you the path that no fowl knoweth. There are secret channels in the Spirit that men enter and they outrun their generation. And for those of us who are born of the Spirit, that's our calling. Let's look at what advancement is. Of course, by linguistical definition, you know, advancement is simply to move forward. But in spiritual context, there are deeper connotations of the reality. And I just want to touch 5 of them quickly, because these are the major things that will happen to you from this service. When we speak about advancement in biblical context, advancement connotes, number 1, movement away from captivity. It speaks of liberation from captivity. If a man is bound, whatever he's doing that looks like a movement is running in a cycle. You truly begin to advance when you break away from captivity. And we saw that in Exodus. If you study Exodus, I quoted one scripture already for us. Exodus 14:15. They were departing from Egypt. They had been in captivity for over 400 years. It looked like they were prospering. But Joseph knew that whatever happened in Egypt is still a limitation. So before he died, he told them to swear to him that when they depart, they will carry his bones. Joseph knew it can take hundreds of years. It doesn't matter. Don't let my bones stay here. I can be called a prime minister. I was still in captivity. Until I depart from here to my own heritage, I have not really advanced. So when we speak of advancement, is departure from captivity. So the first layer of advancement that Israel had was when they crossed the Red Sea. Physically, geographically speaking, they left Egypt behind. A man truly begins to advance when the chains are broken. When the tales of captivity no longer include his experience, then he has really understood and experienced advancement. It could be physical, it could be mental, it could be spiritual. But if there's anything that holds you against your will, you have not yet advanced. Advancement begins when we break away from captivity. Now, in order to show you a picture that shows clearly, Psalm 105 verse 17 comes handy. He sent a man before them, even Joseph, who was sold for a servant. The Bible said, next verse, whose feet they hurt with fetters, and he was laid in iron. It said, until the time that his word came, the word of the Lord tried him. So everything he was experiencing, the little messy drop. The Bible said in verse 20, the king sent and loosed him, even the ruler of the people, and let him go free. Until there's freedom, there's no advancement. So long as captivity remains, you have really not made any real advancement. So the first dimension of advancement is freedom, liberty from captivity. This is why when Jesus came, the first thing he did for us was to break us from captivity. The Bible said in Hebrews 2:14 and 15, for I said himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had power of death. This is the devil. Next verse, and deliver them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. A man can be buying a car but still in bondage. Meanwhile, it's a blessing to increase. But if you are still in bondage, you have not advanced. In Colossians 1:12 and 13, it says, giving thanks to the Father, who has made us meet to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in light, who has delivered us from the dominion of darkness. Even God knows that we have not made progress except as we are first of all delivered. He said in John 8:32 and 36, you shall know the truth shall set you free. And he said, him whom the Son of Man sets free is free indeed. The journey of advancement begins when there is freedom. Spiritual freedom, mental freedom, bodily freedom, circumstantial freedom. So when we speak of advancement, it's not you running around, it's you breaking free. And somebody will leave this service, chains that have been on your life for aeons will break. Number two, when we speak of advancement, what do we refer to? Is promotion. So there is freedom and there is promotion, or what I call breaking into higher grounds. When a man is advancing, you will see that progressively his status will be changing, his authority level will be changing, his resources will keep increasing. You know what's going on? He's moving higher and higher. That's why the Bible said in Proverbs 4:18, the path of the just is as a shining light. It shines brighter and brighter unto the perfect day. When God is advancing you, he promotes you, he lifts you up. There's no advancement if you are not breaking into higher grounds. Psalm 75 verse 6 and 7, he said, promotion cometh not from the east, the west, the north, or the south. He said, God is the judge of all. He lifted one up and put one down. When a man is advancing, he's being promoted. You will know because it shows. Authority level changes, status changes, influence level increases. When Jesus was promoted, he showed. The Bible said in Luke 4:18, 4:14, 15 and 16, and Matthew 4:15 and 16, he returned in the power of the Spirit and his fame went abroad. You would be wrong to call him a carpenter at that point. He said the land of Zebulun, the land of Naphtali, by the way of the sea, beyond Jordan, Galilee of the Gentile, The people that sat in darkness have seen a great light. He went up as a carpenter, he returned as a great light. He said, they that sat in the region of the shackles of death, a great light has sprung forth. He came with authority, and he knew. The same synagogue he was going from a boy, he returned in Luke 4:18. He said, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. He has anointed me. I have been empowered. Authority level has changed. I'm no longer just talking and debating. I was here once upon a time debating with doctors of the law. Now I have been anointed to bring deliverance to the captive, to unstop the deaf, the ear of the deaf, to open the eyes of the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised, and to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord. Levels have changed. So when we speak of advancement, we are talking change in status. We are talking change in rank. We are talking change in authority, change in influence quotient. That's what God is doing for us in this season. Some of you will return to that your office. Now you will talk, your words will be law. The same way you were talking before, but the words will carry different weight. And some of you, physically, you will be promoted on your job. For some of you, same songs you sang that only your family and friends listen to encourage you, you have not added anything to it. In fact, you have uploaded a song already on YouTube. Suddenly, people will start looking for it. And you're wondering, what's going on? Promotion has come. When God began to lift me, messages we uploaded that nobody cared about suddenly started receiving views in millions. I said, but this message has been online for 5 years. It's not where you put the message that matters. It's at what level you are when you put it. That's why those of you who are killing yourself with competition, rest. You don't need to compete with anybody. Just be promoted. Don't kill yourself. You will allow bitterness take root in your heart. Just be promoted. Gain rank. There will be 1,000 apostles, but your voice will be unique. There will be 1,000 prophets. You will have your place. There will be 1,000 people doing the same business, but you have your place. Because promotion has come. That's advancement. When God causes you to break into higher grounds. The ministry is still in the same location. You are still preaching the same message, but the impact is different. You are talking, demons are shouting and leaving people. You are talking, nations are coming. Kings are coming. What's going on? Promotion has come. Can I tell you something? Before this month is over, somebody will be promoted. He said, I watch my word to see that it is accomplished. When God speaks, He's not trying to give you information. When He speaks, He creates, it empowers, He alters things. Because the voice of God, the Bible said, is upon many waters. It said the voice of God discovered the forest. It causes the hind to calve. It divided the flames of fire. When He talks, things change. He's a king. He said, where the word of the king is, there's power. Who can say unto him what dwells there? See, some of you, your life may not look like it. Watch what happens to you from tonight. You will see some, they won't even have the courtesy for the authority they command. That means God lifted them and started training them after lifting them. I had a meeting with a brother last week. Can you imagine? He came with singlet. And you needed to know the figures we were talking about. Some of our leaders were there. And the guy was calling those figures as if he was playing. And I said, okay, it's good to dress well, but know the type of dress to wear first. Wear power, wear favor, wear wisdom, then wear clothes. Number 3, advancement beyond promotion is possessing your inheritance. You know, Joseph was promoted, but he was still in Egypt. So that was not God's perfect plan. So there is a realm beyond promotion. After you are promoted, then you receive your inheritance. Because there is an inheritance to take. God can promote you in a strange land, but when He gives you your inheritance, you have your place. And God does not only promote, He gives inheritance. Deuteronomy 2:24, it says, rise ye up, take up thy journey, go beyond the river Arnon. It said, behold, become aware, I have given you Sihon the Amorite, king of Heshbon, and his land. That one is now yours. It said, begin to contend with him and possess the land. Inheritance. And you know the inheritances we have in the New Testament. He was made shame so that you will take glory. So our inheritances are beyond lands. They are things that produce land. He took shame so that you will take glory. He was demoted so that you can be elevated and honored. The reason God stripped himself of the garment of divinity, Philippians 2, from verse 5 to 10, was so that you can come into honor. So your inheritance is glory. Your inheritance is honor. Your inheritance is acceptance. Ephesians 1:3. He was rejected on the cross so that you will be accepted in the beloved. That's why nations can't reject us. Men can't reject us. See, there are people who hate us. Guess what they do? When we talk, they still listen. Let me hear what he thinks he's saying now. If we cough, they are sentenced to listen. And then they listen, they are pained. They make negative comment. The comment is deleted. Because if you have rank, build your own platform. Don't hang under my own like a gazelle. I won't give you a platform there. You see, they'll come and hang like praying mantis and be typing and be typing. They will type 10 pages. If you know so much, why are you hanging on the comment? You want to enter my own inheritance and become a scholar. Those days, my admin used to respond. Now they don't. We only respond to people who have sense. If you come and make noise, they delete it. If you repeat it, they block you. Now, I'm not saying we are not open to constructive criticism. If you criticize, they will respond scripturally. But if you talk trash, they will delete it. Talk again, they will block you. If you know someone, build your platform. Speak to me from there. Don't come and hang on a comment box and become a scholar, a ranking priest, all of a sudden. Your inheritance is glory. The Bible said, him that he predestinated, he called. Him that he called, he justified. Him that he justified, he glorified. Romans 8:30. John 17:22. The glory you gave me, I've given them, that they may be one as we are one. I'm a glory carrier. I hope you know glory is not just light shining. Glory is the weight of God, the majesty, the honor of God. It rests on my life, sir. Some people look at you, they are trying to guess a lot of things about you. I said, you are wasting your time, sir. Even if you guess correctly, that's not the factor. Glory has brought us to realms where mortality would not have been able to. The honor of God is on your life. You think Jesus hung on the cross naked for a show? It's so that you will be clothed with majesty. That's why I said, they which receive abundance of grace and of the gift of righteousness, they reign through life. The word is basileus. It means to king through life. We are monarchs. Revelation 1:6 said, he washed us in his blood and made us kings. There's honor on you. That's why when you talk foolishly, angels are shocked. No, the class you belong, they don't talk like that. Where the word of the king is, there's power. You talk power. There's honor on your life. That's why we dress with a knowing. You can't catch me dressed naked. No, sir, I'm dignity. When I say young ladies dressed naked, I say this one they don't know dignity. Have you seen any princess before that the body is exposed? They even wear gloves. That means even before they shake you and you touch their hand, you are somebody. They wear gloves. But look at our sisters today. Every private part is in the public. Because they know they don't have value. So they are trying so hard to advertise even the sacred things. But you are not that type of person. There's dignity on you. There's glory on you. That's your inheritance. You are accepted. See, you can't be rejected. My heart is broken. Can you imagine? He rejected me. No, sir. They don't reject me. You lose me. And not too long, you will know. Not too long. They don't reject me. They lose me. Those who don't have discernment, they lose me. And it's not me. It's all of us. Because we are accepted in the beloved. How many of you get what we are talking about here? It's your inheritance. You are the righteousness of God. You have a standing in God's courtroom. When you talk, your voice has a signature in heaven. That's why people like us, you don't find me in a birthday struggling. Me too, I want to say something. No, sir. Even in the world, there are people who before they talk in your event, you pay them. They are not talking life. They are not talking righteousness. They are not talking God. But they know they have something to say. And you are hustling to go and say something in a birthday. Relax, sir. Relax. Your voice has signature in heaven. Even if you don't talk in a gathering, if you talk in your closet, it can affect territories. It's your inheritance. And then even material things, they are part of it. The Bible said in Job 22, 23, 24, it said, when you return to the Almighty, you shall be built up. And it said, you shall lay up gold as dust, the gold of Ophir as the stones of the brook. We were not called here to walk in lack. How can you walk in lack carrying the wisdom of God? Having access to inspiration, the favor on your life. How could you walk in lack? It's a wonder. It's a wonder for you to be able to walk in lack. He said, whatsoever he doeth, he shall prosper. This is inheritance. So when we say God is giving you your inheritance, it means you are possessing the things of God that has been given to you as a steward. So when I show up, you want to estimate my wealth, check God out. There's something on you. Do you know the abundant life is your inheritance? The abundant life. He said, I am come, John 10:10, that you might have life to the full. Anything I touch works. And this is not me trying to preach bold. I can give you many instances. If I touch it, it will work. I have the abundant life. That's my inheritance. And that's yours. Because Jesus didn't give it to me alone. He gave it to all of us that are born of him. We have entered our inheritances. That's advancement. Imagine what will happen if from today your business just begins to blossom. Because now you have the consciousness that you carry the abundant life. That nothing dies with you. Imagine if the consciousness that you can't be rejected, you are accepted, is awoken on your inside. Do you know how many doors we open? Doors that before now were shut. They will just open on their own accord. Even you who know how, but you know you should. This is who we are. This is our calling. Don't let anything intimidate you because of your gender, your skin color, or your age. Whether young or old, it doesn't matter. What we are trading with is eternal. Your inheritance.